Live on YouTube, live on the Rumble. Good afternoon. Hello, welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. I'm, of course, Aozander, and you are you. We will be joined by the Golden Loon here shortly. Today is Woden's Day, aka Odin's Day, aka Wendendendenden's Day, April 8th, 2026. This show is about interesting and important events that happened today throughout the annals of recorded history, starting with the year 217. Roman Emperor Caracalla was assassinated and succeeded by his Praetorian Guard prefect Marcus Opelius Marcinius. 1093, the new Winchester Cathedral was dedicated by Bishop Walkin in Winchester, England. And I actually have a photo of this right here. Pay no mind to the leaf blowers that you're about to hear outside. I'm not sure how loud they're going to be. I hope not too loud, if you can even hear them. But let's take a look at this cathedral from the inside. And that looks awesome. Look at all that. And several different angles. This is another photo from the inside. More interior and everything. Awesome. And we are currently being joined by
The Golden Loon.
Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Good. I missed something, huh?
Yeah, actually, let me bring it back up here. Let's see. Here we go. This. Right there.
Wait a minute.
That cathedral. This is the
England?
the new Winchester Cathedral in Winchester, England.
I don't know about new, but I think I've seen that before.
Well,
when I was there.
Well, this is 1093, so it's the new one, whichever one they had. The old one before that, I don't know. 1139, Roger II of Sicily was excommunicated by Innocent II for supporting Anacletus II as Pope for 7 years, even though Roger had already publicly recognized Innocent's claim to the papacy. That's a pickle. 1195, Alexius III Angelus drove out his brother Isaac II as Byzantine emperor. That's not nice, you know. They're supposed to be brotherly. 1232, Mongol army under General Subedi began the siege of Chinese Jin capital of Kaifeng. The first occasion gunpowder was used in a major engagement, and I actually have an example of it. I think they didn't use it for guns or anything. They didn't invent guns yet, but they used it to launch rockets. And explosives and everything. They even depicted that on Mulan. They launched these firework type looking things. So
I'll be darned.
yeah, actually, I think the whole gun thing was a European invention utilizing gunpowder. I'm not sure, but yeah. 1250, 7th Crusade, Ayyubidis of Egypt captured King Louis IX of France in the Battle of Farquhar. That's not good. 1271, Crac des Chevaliers, the greatest fortress built by medieval crusaders in the Levant, was finally taken by the forces of Mamluk Sultan Baybars I, a.k.a. Baybars. It's just spelled a different way. It's telling me the image search. This is an aerial view. It's a little small image I have for the thumbnail. But you can see how big it is.
It's huge.
Yeah. But let's get some more images of this thing here. Actually, hold on a second. Does it have a Wikipedia? I guess it does, but nothing substantial. Let's see here. So this is what it looks like from one of the sides. This is tremendous.
Wow.
You can see the scale of it with this bridge right there, just to really understand how big it is. That's a huge fortress. I can't believe they took it. It's wild. 1484, Portuguese sea captain Diogo Cao returned to Lisbon from his first voyage to explore the coast of Africa, during which he was the first European to discover the Congo River. 1605, the city of Oulu, Finland, was founded by Charles IX of Sweden. All right. No, not there yet. 1730, Congregation Sheridith Israel was dedicated and opened the first North American synagogue in New York City on Mill Street in Lower Manhattan. Here's what it is. Yeah, that's the first synagogue in North America, and it's still around to date by the looks of it.
Yeah.
I would love to visit it. That's awesome. So I don't want to go to New York, though. 1766, the first fire escape was patented, a wicker basket on a pulley and chain. And this is, I'm actually going to image search this. I forgot to leave myself a note, but this is the patent. Well, it's just a rope ladder here. But I couldn't really find an image of a patent of the pulley. Well, here's like a wicker basket thing. Open image in new tab. You can kind of see he's in in a thing there. So that was the first fire escape. You know?
Huh.
1796, Carl Friedrich Gauss, German mathematician, proved the quadratic reciprocity, I can't pronounce that word, law, which is the ability to determine the solvability of any quadratic equation in modular arithmetic. That's
Wow. That's over my head.
It's over my head as well. I'm just going to see. There is an article right here. In number theory, the law of quadratic reciprocity is a theorem about modular arithmetic that gives conditions for the solvability of quadratic equations, modulo prime numbers. Due to its subtlety, it has many formulations, but the most standard statement is the law, together with its supplements, allows the easy... where'd it go? Prime numbers go... Trying to figure out where that was, because it trails off right here, so I'm trying to find the actual... where that quote was. But I guess it's somewhere in here, but... Anyway, yeah, if you guys want to find it, you viewers out there, here it is. I'm going to post this in the underbar.
You want to find that? You're a math nerd.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, this will be in the underbar section, the description, after the live stream. 1801, soldiers riot in Bucharest, killing 128 Jews. Okay, why? Like, here we go again. What's going on? This is weird. 1 year later, 1802, French Protestant church became state-supported and controlled. That does not sound good at all. 1802, we got that one. 1808, Roman Catholic Diocese of Baltimore promoted to an archdiocese by Pope Pius VII, with the founding of the Dioceses of New York, Philadelphia, Boston, and Bardstown, which is now Louisville. Okay. 1812, Tsar Alexander, the Russian Emperor and the Grand Duke of Finland, officially announced the transfer of the status of the Finnish capital from Turku to Helsinki. And it's still the capital today, right? Of Finland, Helsinki?
I believe so, yeah.
I think so. 1820, the famous...
Important city, anyways.
Yeah. 1820, the famous ancient Greek statue, Venus de Milo, was discovered on the Aegean island of Milos.
There it is.
Yeah, this one right here. This is in The Sims. You know, it's in so many, like, it's referenced so many times in pop culture. It's wild. 1861, U.S. Mint at Dahlonega, Georgia, seized by Confederacy during the U.S. Civil War. Yeah, Dahlonega, like Dahlonega. That's, I don't know how to pronounce that city. It's weird. 1862, John D. Lind patented Aerosol Dispenser. Yeah, we still use those today and everything. And here's an actual blueprint of the original. Like, it looks like you push down on it instead of it's the spray that we used to. Yeah. You actually push down like that.
Yeah.
So
now they've tried to go away from that and go back to pumps and things because of the environment. The aerosol is bad for the environment.
Yeah, but they still use it right here like an inhaler and everything. That's how that works. And this is what we're used to here, more of like this spray or this right here.
Yeah, there you go.
So, what else do we got here? In 1869, American Museum of Natural History opened in New York City. Did we visit it?
I'm trying to think.
Because I think we visited the Museum of Natural History in Washington, D.C. when we were over there. So.
Yeah, that's in that whole.
Yeah, the mall.
Yeah.
Now, and because of that, I don't think we went to the same type of museum in New York City.
I don't recall going there.
I just remember, if you ever saw the movie We're Back, you remember that movie?
Never.
That scene, the Museum of Natural History, and then they winked or something. It's from that movie. So, and that's the same exact museum as we just covered. 1879, milk was sold in glass bottles for the first time.
Yeah, I wonder what it was sold in before.
That's literally my question. What was it sold in before?
Had to be in drums, those milk drums.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe you got it straight from the cow. You know? It's a.
I remember when they, as a kid, and they put it in wax cartons, and literally they were wax. You could take your finger and you'd sit there and peel down the wax.
That's disgusting. That is disgusting. 1886, William Edward Gladstone introduced the first Irish Home Rule Bill into the British House of Commons. In 1893, the critic reported that ice cream soda is America's national drink, and the United States' national drink. Okay. I'm cool with that. Ice cream soda sounds delicious. 2 years later, in Pollock versus Farmers Loan and Trust Company, the Supreme Court of the United States declared unapportioned income tax to be unconstitutional. What is unapportioned income tax?
Not proportioned properly.
I'm going to look this up here. 16th Amendment to the United States. So, whatever it is, it allows Congress to levy an income tax without apportioning it among the states on the basis of population. Well, wouldn't that be unconstitutional based off of this verdict? Or am I stupid? Help me.
I don't know.
Oh. Is the music even going? Yes, it is. Okay. Alright, well, getting nothing on that. What else do we got here? 1898, Battle of Atabara River. Anglo-Egyptian forces defeated 15,000 Sudanese during the Mahadis War, a turning point in the reconquest of Sudan. 1900s now, 1902, demonstration organized by socialists in Belgium as people demanded better education, living conditions, the right to strike, and universal male suffrage, resulting in a riot and some deaths. People are dying for men to have votes, let alone women. Like... Yeah, it's things like this, like, that I really want to stuff into the faces of all these third-wave feminists and everything. It's just like, yeah, there are some things, that you have legitimate gripes about, but some people have died in their pursuit of trying to get votes. And there's a lot of people, like the blacks, they were enslaved and everything. The way that these feminists make it sound is as if like they're the ones who've had the worst atrocities committed on them. They need to ease up, like.
Fair enough.
1902, Russia and China signed the Convention of Evacuation, under which Russia agreed to evacuate Manchuria within 18 months. I wonder if they did. 1904, British mystic Aleister Crowley transcribed the first chapter of the Book of Law. Aleister Crowley, that name sounds familiar. Is there like an actor named Aleister Crowley, or is this the guy that I'm thinking
Alex
of?
Trebek.
No. It's
I don't know. That doesn't
Aleister Crowley. The name is very familiar to me.
Not to me.
Aleister Crowley. English occultist, poet, novelist, and founder of Thelema. Never heard of that either. He claimed to have received the Book of Law from a supernatural entity in 1904 and became a leader of the OTO and the ATA. I don't know what those are. So
Supernatural?
Yeah.
That sounds a little bit whacked out.
Maybe I know him because the Nazis followed him, and the name is in my head for whatever reason, as a historian, like...
Okay, yeah.
I don't know, like, I've heard the name somewhere, I don't know where, though. 1904, Entente Cordiale between Britain and France. The French Third Republic and the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland signed the Entente Cordiale. Here we go. A technical treaty settling long-standing disagreements over Morocco, Egypt, Africa, and the Pacific. Oh, okay. Yeah, I had to go... oh, wait. It says it right here. So for whatever reason, they have it in two different articles. So I had to combine them. 1904 as well, New York City changed the name. Now, this one was very interesting. New York City changed the name of Longacre Square to Times Square in honor of the New York Times' move to the area.
Oh.
So that's why it's called Times Square.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
No.
Like.
And it used to be Longacre Square?
Longacre, Longacre.
Ah.
Longacre Square, South New York City, right here. So as of the making of this painting, this is what it was called. So this must have been right before 1904 or something, or at least this time.
Times Square is much easier to say.
Yeah, but I never knew. Like, I always wondered why it was called Times Square, and now we know it's because it was named after the New York Times. Wow. 1910.
Did they have the ball drops there or something in Times Square?
Yes.
I thought it had something to do with that.
Yeah, and actually the building that the ball drops on has been uninhabited. Like, nobody rents it out or anything. Like, it's just empty for decades. Like,
but why? Do we know?
I think the price is too high to rent it out.
Oh.
Like, nobody bothers. I mean, like, a lot of the retailers on Times Square, they actively take a loss because the rent is so high, but it's all about publicity, Yeah. They're not renting it in hopes of selling enough to foot the bill. No, they're all, like, most of them take a direct loss, but because they're in Times Square, blah, blah, blah. Oh, let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go to this place. Back at home, they're on Times Square. I remember visiting it. So let's go here. They must be good. Like stuff like that. 1910, first race at the Playa del Rey Motordrome, the first U.S. auto speedway, was held near Los Angeles, California.
Ah.
I wonder if it's
What was the name of it again?
the Playa del Rey Motordrome. So near Los Angeles. So, I'm gonna see if it even still exists. Let's see here.
It's got to be down by the beach somewhere, right?
It was a circular 1-mile wood board racetrack. It was located in Playa del Rey, California, and opened in 1910. So it has to be gone by now because it looks like, it was made of wood. So, closed in 1913. There you go. So it didn't last long. Well, it's made of wood. So, 1913, 17th Amendment to the United States Constitution was ratified by Congress, providing for election of senators by popular vote. And we have China's National Assembly opened in Peking, the first free democratic parliament in Chinese history. Excellent. 1 year later, U.S. and Colombia signed a treaty concerning Panama Canal Zone. I wonder what it entails. Maybe rights or something.
Well, it is a treaty.
Yeah. 1916, Norway approved active and passive female suffrage. Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. 1924, that's a heck of a jump right there. South African state passed the Industrial Cancellation Act No. 11, providing for job reservations, excluded blacks from membership of registered trade unions, prohibited registration of black trade unions. Wow. Well, this was apartheid, South Africa, 1924. They lost the Boer Wars, both of them. 29, Indian independence movement at the Delhi Central Assembly. Bhagat Singh and Batu Kishore Dut threw handouts and bombs to court arrest. What? Throw handouts and bombs to court arrest.
What does that mean?
I don't understand. It says here he's an Indian independence fighter, so I think maybe they just grenaded a frickin'... to court. So they wanted to get arrested. To court it. Like you would court a woman.
Okay.
So, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. So at the Delhi Central Assembly, these two Singh... this guy's name is Singh. These guys threw handouts. I don't know what a handout means. Are they passing pamphlets and bombs? What a weird combination. 33, Manchester Guardian warned of unknown Nazi terror. Well, he knew something was going to happen. 1935, Works Progress Administration was approved by Congress. That sounds like a big waste. Like, a whole association to tell us how far along Works Progress. What? That makes no sense. Just such a waste of taxpayer money. Afuela, all that. 39, King Zog I of Albania fled after Italy invaded. We covered that yesterday. 40, German battleship cruisers sunk British aircraft carrier Glorious. I didn't know. World of Warships taught me that they did at least have aircraft carriers or something. Germany even was thinking about building one. I think they were building one. I'm not sure. But there were aircraft carrier, very undocumented activities. They're documented, but they're not really paid attention to mostly. But there were some aircraft carrier activities in the Atlantic and everything. So yeah. 40.
It got sunk.
Yeah, 1940, the Central Committee of the Mongolian People's Revolutionary Party elected Yamjagin Tisizembal as General Secretary, marking the beginning of his 44-year-long tenure as de facto leader of Mongolia. That's a long time. 41, in his fourth title defense in 9 weeks, Joe Louis beat Tony Musudo by TKO in the 9th round at the Arena, St. Louis, Missouri, to retain NYSAC heavyweight boxing crown. Fourth title defense in 9 weeks. People just keep coming at him. That's wild. 43, U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt, in an attempt to check inflation, froze wages and prices, prohibiting workers from changing jobs unless the war effort would be aided thereby, and barred rate increases to common carriers and public utilities.
Boy.
You got to
talk about government overreach.
Well, we were at war. The whole world was at war. So I'm not validating him, but I can't say I blame him either for doing that. But then again, he was a Democrat, and
you can never justify overreaching like that. I'm sorry, war, no war.
Yeah.
That's just. If you can do that, why can't you do it in peacetime?
True. 46, League of Nations assembled for the last time. Unfortunately, that meant that the United Nations was, well, they were already a thing. There was a point in time for a little bit.
Yeah, they were together.
The two entities, yeah. 47, largest recorded sunspot ever observed at 40 times the diameter of Earth. Holy cats. A sunspot 40 times.
Wow.
Probably still a speck on it. 52, U.S. President Harry Truman seized steel mills to avert a strike. That doesn't sound good either.
Seized?
Seized steel mills to avert a strike. The guy who dropped the bomb on Japan. So,
wow.
Yep. You know, our government's always been horrible. 53, Jomo Kenyatta was convicted of involvement with the Mau Mau rebellion and sentenced to 7 years jail in Kenya. That's wild because he was the founding father of Kenya. That's like us arresting George Washington. You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy. 56, six U.S. Marine Corps recruits drowned during a night march in Ribbon Creek at Parris Island, South Carolina. Drill Instructor Staff Sergeant Matthew McEwen was court-martialed. Yeah, like I understand needing to push the recruits and getting them used to such horrible situations, but like there have been accounts of people dying in basic training. Like there's this one movie that depicts like they're crawling in the muck under barbed wire and everything, and they have live rounds firing. Yeah. And one guy was losing his shit. He got up right in the head.
Yeah, no, that happens. People die in basic training.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't think it's the norm, but
it happens. Yeah. 59, a team of computer manufacturers, users, and university people led by Grace Hopper met to discuss the creation of a new programming language that would be called COBOL. All right, so if you know what COBOL is, there you go. Then we have the Organization of American States drafted an agreement to create the Inter-American Development Bank. That sounds like Rothschilds. 365 days later, Netherlands and Germany signed an accord concerning war casualties. They signed an agreement to negotiate the return of German land annexed by the Dutch in return for 280 million German marks as Wiedergutmachung. Okay. 1960 as well, U.S. Senate passed Civil Rights Bill with measures against discriminatory voting practices. 61, British liner Dara exploded in the Persian Gulf, killing 236. The liner, and this is...
What is Dara?
The name. British ocean liner, the HMS Dara or whatever the heck it is.
Yeah.
That's the name of the boat, of the vessel. It just spontaneously exploded in the Persian Gulf? What the hell? Did they get shot at? Like, what happened? Like... I mean, it's 1961. Yeah, the MV Dara. It was a British passenger ship. Okay, yada, yada, yada. Carrying expatriate passengers who were employed in the nations of the Gulf. Okay. After a powerful explosion, April 8th, 1961, the Dara caught fire and sank in the Persian Gulf. The disaster killed 238 of the 819 people at the time. But how did it explode? Well, this is just telling me, like, Wikipedia gets into the entire... Okay, a large explosion struck the port side of the engine casing between decks, passing through the engine bulkhead. Okay, but why...
What caused it?
It's not telling me. Due to the conditions, there have been no opportunity to disembark those people aboard who did not intend to travel, including relatives and friends sending off passengers, cargo handler. Well, still not telling me, so I'm going to just add this in the underbar section. Dara. So if anybody wants to look that up and let us know in the comments, that'd be great. Moving on up here to 1963, 35th Academy Awards, Lawrence of Arabia, Anne Bancroft, and Gregory Peck won. 64, Unmanned Gemini 1 was launched. Okay. 65, India and Pakistan forces engaged in a border fight. That happens quite often between those two. 66, U.S. Football League voted in 36-year-old Al Davis as commissioner of the AFL, the American Football League. Yeah. After Joe Frost resigned, the appointment though only lasted 3 months when the AFL merged into the NFL. He didn't have that long. 1966, OAO-1, the first orbiting astronomer observatory. Oh, there we go. OAO, orbiting astronomer observatory, launched. So yeah, OAO-1. 66, Time published its Is God Dead issue, its first issue without an image. That sounds horrible. Make me never want to read the Times again. 1968, actually no, Time Magazine.
Yeah.
Not the Times, Time Magazine. Yeah. There we go. 1968, 40th Academy Awards were postponed to April 10th due to the death of Martin Luther King. And we have 1968, it's the same year. Major League Baseball decided to postpone opening day because of the same reason. Paying respect to him, very noble. 68, new socialist constitution of East Germany took effect. That is not good. Then we have Boeing Flight 712 caught fire shortly after takeoff. As a result of her actions in the accident, Barbara Jane Harrison was awarded a posthumous George Cross, may she rest in peace. The only GC, the Golden Cross, awarded to a woman in peacetime. That is awesome. Sorry that she had to die in doing so, but at least she saved some lives. It sounds like. 69, we have an expansion teams: Royals, Expos, Padres, and Pilots all won their first games. That's crazy. But we have here a connected article. First Major League Baseball game featuring a Canadian team. The Montreal Expos beat the New York Mets 11-10 at Chase Stadium, while the Kansas City Royals, San Diego Padres, and Seattle Pilots also won on their debut. Nice. 1970, Bahir el-Bakr primary school bombing. Israeli bombers struck an Egyptian school, murdering 46 children. A lot of that happening right now. So a lot of innocent, a lot of civilian places are getting hit. It's starting to look more like intentional. 71, first legal off-track betting system began, OTB in New York. OTB off-track betting. There you go.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's not good.
Yeah.
I guess you have a right to do it, but boy, that feeds right into some people's problems.
Well, I mean, what's the stock market if not a giant gamble? It's the same type of thing.
Well, if you do your homework, you're you're investing in what you think is a good has a potential for growth. It's really not gambling.
I never figured out how stock markets work. Like, if I get a stock and then it raises, who's buying that? Like, how am I making money off of that? Like, how does it work? Where does the money come from? Like,
well, an exchange, that's what the exchange is for in the stock market. That's why you don't go to individual companies. They're in a stock market. You put your money in there and you tell them what you want to buy. They find out what's for sale. If there's more buyers than sellers, the price goes up. So someone that owns it says, "Okay, I'll sell it at that price," and that's why they go up or they go. Now you have more sellers than buyers, or the price will go down.
but like, if you sell when it's up, then who's footing that bill? Like, am I stupid? Like,
no one's footing the bill.
but then how is money made? Like, it just seems like it's just manifesting out of nowhere to me. Like, the money has to come from somewhere. Who's buying a stock, like, at an elevated rate?
People buy the stock and it goes up.
Okay.
And first off, the company issues 1 million shares.
Okay.
Okay, goes to the stock market.
Okay.
So you can buy, and they issue it at $1.
Okay.
Okay. The company's going to get that money, and then they have the public now has invested in their company. They got a ton of cash.
Okay, so that goes into paying people when they sell their stocks. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Like, I've always wondered where all that money came from, because No,
I'm not sure. What did you say at the end there? That's what. That's. No.
Where? What?
No, no.
We got to keep going.
Okay.
1973, 32 terrorist bombings in Cyprus. That's a lot. 32 terrorists. Is that
That's a lot.
Is that today, or is that like one day, or is that like covering the month, or since the start of the year? That's all it says. That seems excessive. Well, I mean, even one is excessive, but still, like. 75, we have the 47th Academy Awards. The Godfather Part 2, Ellen Burstyn and Art Carney won. 75, Frank Robinson debuted as first black stadium baseball manager. The Cleveland Indians beat the New York Yankees 5-3. Now, which one though was he in charge of, the Indians or the Yankees? He also won the World Series. Do you know?
Right.
Like, I'm trying to.
I'm thinking. I can't remember which. I don't think it was the Yankees.
Okay, so he won.
Frank Robinson. We're talking about.
Yeah, Frank Robinson,
first black manager.
Yeah, but it doesn't tell us what team he was on. It just says Cleveland Indians beat the New York Yankees 5-3.
I would suspect he was a manager of the Cleveland Indians.
Okay. All right. 1979, 205th and final episode of All in the Family, followed by Archie Bunker's Place for 4 seasons. 79 as well, People's Republic of China joined the International Olympic Committee. 1980, actually, I just realized, I never put in Loon's Time.
Oh.
So, back in 1946 at some point, there was Loon's Time. Okay, where was I? Oh man, I totally... Okay, we got that one. 1980, Islanders Paul Vince 2 shorthand goals tied NHL records versus Kings and set NHL record of 2 shorthand playoff goals in 1 period. 82, Tracy Calkins won her 36th U.S. swimming title at the age of 19. Holy crap, dude. Congratulations. 1983, in front of a live audience of 20 tourists, David Copperfield made the Statue of Liberty disappear. I don't know, that sounds bogus. If it's only 20 people, you can pay them all off pretty well. 84, U.S. Census Bureau estimated rank Los Angeles as second most populated city, displacing Chicago, which held the position since 1890. New York City, of course, remaining on the top. So, whoop-dee, we're the second largest city in the country.
Yeah.
85, Amadal released UTS/V, the first mainframe Unix. Don't know what that is, but it sounds like computer or something. 85 as well, India filed a suit against Union Carbide over Bhopal disaster. Do you know what that is by any chance? Bhopal disaster?
No.
Let's check that up here really quick. Carbide is sued in the U.S. by India and gas disaster. Some kind of... was this that horrible disaster? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Well, it killed 1,700 people.
That's a pretty big disaster.
Yeah, that is. 86, Clint Eastwood was elected mayor of Carmel in California. Carmel. And it says makes his day. I didn't know he was a mayor.
Yeah, no, he was the mayor of Carmel.
Well, of course, I have Ayo's time in here somehow. 89, California Angels pitcher Jim Abbott, born without his right hand, made MLB debut lasting only 4 2/3 inning. Well, that's still really good for one hand.
Yeah, he was a really good fielder because not so much in the major leagues, but wherever he played, whatever level of moving up, they always tried to bunt against him.
That's not nice.
Well,
that's really rude.
No, it's not.
89.
Game.
Yeah.
And he was a good fielder, better than most two-handed pitchers.
Yeah. 89, Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo was arrested in Mexico and charged with kidnapping, murder of DAA agent Enrique Camarena, drug trafficking, and other crimes. This guy, drug lord. So, I hope he's rotting under the prison. 1990, King Birhanu of Nepal lifted 30-year ban on political parties. Great. 1991, jockey Bill Schumacher was paralyzed in a car accident. That is unfortunate.
I never knew that.
He was already retired, it sounds like.
Yeah, he would have been retired that age.
91, Oakland A's Stadium became the first outdoor arena in USA to ban smoking. Because as we know, open areas, makes things stay where they are, because that makes sense. 92, after 151 years of Britain's Punch magazine published its final issue. All right. Punch magazine.
Oh. Like a boxing magazine?
I guess Punch magazine.
Is it a boxing magazine?
I don't know. It just says Punch magazine. Maybe it's Fruit Punch. Maybe it's Knuckle Sandwich. I'll look it up though, just to see. Punch magazine. British weekly magazine of humor and satire, established in 1841 by Henry Mayhew and wood engraver Ebenezer Landless. Historically, it was most influential in the 1840s and 1850s, where it helped coin the term cartoon in its modern sense as a humorous illustration. Wow! I had no idea.
No.
We unintentionally went down the rabbit hole that told us the origin of the word cartoon. Origin of cartoon. There we go. Punch magazine. Huh.
And the name of Punch magazine comes from
Punchline, I think.
Punchline,
yeah. If that makes sense to me. So, wow, I got to keep this up myself for reading here. What else do we got here? 1993, Indians Carlos Baguera was the first to switch hit home runs in the same inning versus the Yanks. All right. 1994, Atlanta Brave Kent Mercker no-hits Dodgers 6-0. at Dodger Stadium. Wow. No hits them in their own home. That's mean.
Yeah, that's not good.
4. Smoking was banned in Pentagon and all U.S. military bases. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Even the deep underground military bases, the DUMBs. 1997, Microsoft released Internet Explorer 4 beta. Okay. 99, Haryana Parishad, a political party in the Indian state of Haryana, merged with the Indian National Congress. I just thought that was a cool thing to add in. Oh. 2000, 19 U.S. Marines were killed when a V-22 Osprey tilt-rotor aircraft crashed near Marana, Arizona. And do you know what those are?
No.
Those are the ones, like, with the weird wings and the helicopter
okay.
things,
Yeah. Okay.
I'll look them up just to make sure that I'm not full of shit, which I usually am, but, let's see. Hey, I was right.
He's full of shit.
Yes. What else do we got here? 2002, Space Shuttle Atlantis was launched on mission STS-110, carrying the SO truss, or the S0 truss, the International Space Station. Astronaut Jerry L. Ross also became the first person to fly on 7 space flights. Nice. 2005, a solar eclipse occurred, visible over areas of the Pacific Ocean in Latin American countries such as Costa Rica, Panama, and Colombia, and Venezuela. 2006 as well, the Shannon Massacre, the bodies of 8 men, all shot to death, were found in a field in Ontario, Canada. The murders were soon linked to the Bandidos motorcycle gang. Why can't I read? 2008, the construction of the world's first building to integrate wind turbines completed in Bahrain. I gotta take a look at this. Can you imagine a building with wind turbines into it? Oh, there it is.
Pretty high building.
The Bahrain World Trade Center. Oh yeah, if you enjoy this building, can you say that you're a fan?
No, boo.
But look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, that is incredible.
That's cool. I wonder how much of that, like, how much power that produces. Do they use all of it, or do they...
Well, they'd use it all for sure. I don't think it's going to produce that much to supply the building, but...
I'm not sure. No. Building with turbines. Add that there. What else do we got? 2013... 163 people were killed and 50,000 were displaced after tribal violence erupted in Darfur, Sudan. 2014 as well, Windows XP reached its standard end of life and was no longer supported. I remember that. 2017, we have the 5th day of protest by thousands in Caracas, Venezuela, against the government. Yeah, they've been fighting against that stuff for years, and we finally went in and helped them. 2019, 1 in 4 Japanese adults are a virgin at the age of 18 to 39, according to new research by Tokyo University. It's not surprising. 2019, 14 tons of black market pangolin scales from 36,000 animals were discovered in Singapore, one of the largest ever found worldwide. That's terrible. Do you know what a pangolin is?
No.
It's a very interesting creature. Like it's like it's this like what are those, the ones that roll up into balls?
Oh.
Yeah, but it's like between that and a shrew or something. Like
it's like an anteater.
Yeah, but like it has armor and everything.
Armadillo is what you're
Armadillo.
thinking.
That's why. Yeah, thank you. It's like an armadillo. Like it rolls up too and everything. But it's like it's indigenous to Asia or something. I'm not sure. I'm no animal scientist or anything. 2019, 600 million birds die each year in the U.S. after striking tall buildings, with Chicago the worst city, according to Cornell Lab of Ornithology. Okay, and, natural selection. If they can't figure out how to fly around buildings, what do you want us to do? Not have buildings? 2019, actress Allison Mack pled guilty to sex trafficking charges for her involvement in the sex cult NXIVM. Wow.
That's not good.
Yeah. 2019 as well, protests in Sudan against the government of Omar al-Bashir continued, with 7 killed and 2,500 arrested in Khartoum. I guess they can arrest everybody. It's wild. We also have a record 17 feet or 5.2 meter invasive Burmese python pregnant with 73 eggs, captured in Florida's Big Cypress National Reserve.
Jeez.
Glad they found that.
No kidding.
That'd be terrifying. All of a sudden, like an epidemic of house pets just going missing. Yikes. 2020, Saudi-backed coalition fighting Houthi fighters in Yemen called for a ceasefire after 5 years to stop the spread of Kung Flu. Yeah, sure. All this Kung Flu crap. 2020, the sitcom Modern Family, created by Christopher Lloyd and Stephen... Oh, I didn't mean to read that. This is a tilde, not a read mark. 2021, Dr. Anthony Fauci thanked the U.S. health workers for their sacrifice during the pandemic, acknowledging their more than 3,600 deaths. Oh, you sleazeball piece of shit, Fauci. May you rot in hell for all eternity. 2021, Egyptian archaeologists announced their most important find since Tutankhamun's tomb, the discovery of a lost golden city in the 3,000-year-old ancient city of Antin near Luxor.
Whoa.
So the Arabian El Dorado or something, maybe? We also have a 7th night of unrest in Belfast, Northern Ireland, even after a joint call for calm by UK Prime Minister and Irish Premier. We'll just set Ireland free, you know? Brandon said, quote, gun violence in this country is an epidemic, end quote, as he unveiled package of executive actions, including restrictions on ghost guns. Yeah, another piece of shit there. 2022, first all-private space flight, Axiom 1, launched to the International Space Station. That's historical right there. 2022, Michael Bay's film Ambulance was released in the U.S. by Universal Pictures. What?
Never heard of it.
Neither have I, but like I looked up a scene, and let's see here. Where is it? Ambulance. Scene. Like it was. So yeah, this is what I'm just gonna play just a few seconds of this. This is bizarre, like absolutely ridiculous. If it even starts to play here, like, come on, there we go. Freaking, like, he's blowing people up with an ambulance. What the hell is happening? Like, Michael Bay is notoriously known for his explosions, like Michael Bay explosions. You know?
Okay.
So I was like, oh god, like they're gonna have exploding ambulances? Yes, yes, they're gonna have exploding ambulances. 2022, the U.S. Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences bans Will Smith from attending the Oscars for 10 years after he slapped host Chris Rock on stage during the 2022 ceremony. Good. Keep that Scientologist nutjob the fuck out of there. 2024, New Vatican document rejected concept of changing a person's biological sex despite Pope Francis's recent overtures to the trans community. Now, I have a thing or two to say about that, but yeah, we'll leave that for another time. 2024, total solar eclipse stretched from Mazatlan, Mexico to Newfoundland, plunging 44 million people into darkness, visible across all of North America. That's awesome.
Yeah. And
last but not least, this time last year, Jet Set nightclub roof collapsed, killing at least 221 people during a performance by Merengue singer Ruby Perez and his orchestra in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. That's terrible.
Yeah, that's horrible.
But that shall conclude the show for today. Once again, please check the underbar in the description below for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis, and we can only bring you a portion from two sources, even though, like, you know, we made it well within our hour, because we only had a 26-page article document today, but still, you know, there's so much other stuff out there that, you know, we have no idea. So, please, it is up to you to find the artifacts of our history, but only if each individual reaches out with and for open mindfulness, with a yearn to learn, to see outside what you think you know, to grow and find enlightenment. We have to find common ground with those who see their opinions differently from our own and find a better way to be better to one another. For your dose of past events daily, we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I'm Xander.
Golden Loon.
And you, viewer, you, thank you so much for coming in and joining us. And until you catch us next time, whenever that is, wherever it is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!
Hey, we learned